like it's something like that going on, we gotta call it out.
Yeah, definitely. But to kind of just switch gears, say, man, I brought this up to you because I was scrolling on my Instagram today, and I seen Choke No Joke. He had posted, from the state of Carolina, the Solicitor Wilson's statement regarding Charlamagne, his case from 2001. Now, he posted this, and I put it on the screen for the people watching on YouTube. He put, and this is why the law presumes that y'all boy, referring to Charlamagne the God, is innocent of all dismissed allegations. This letter is from Solicitor Scarlett A. Wilson from the 9th Judicial, court down there in South Carolina. Now, I'm going to go to the letter and read the letter, what happened with the Charlamagne case. It said the state allowed Mr. McElvey to plead guilty to contributing to the delinquency of a minor and agreed to dismiss the remaining charge. The plea was negotiated because the alleged victim in the matter did not cooperate with the prosecutor. Now, essentially, saying, man, Choke No Joke now wants Angela Yee to interview this girl, Jessica Reid, bring her on lip service and whatnot, and do a segment exposing Charlamagne the God. What do you think about this? All of this right here. I mean, you got the backstory earlier, but how do you feel about Choke No Joke putting this information out? He did do the little documentary with Jessica Reid that we seen it circulated on YouTube. And I'll say it before I let you go, based on what I seen and based at the facts that I gleaned and the stuff that I read on the case, I don't believe Charlamagne did anything to her. And I think that the evidence showed that. But what's your thoughts?
Oh God, we talked about this last year, man. And we talked about it a lot when the new allegations came out and you had your various outlets running with the story. We decided to go ahead and run with the story and maybe give it some different perspective that was being broadcasted out there on YouTube. Let's just keep it in that box, right? Because when you showed it to me, you were like, yo, this may get some steam soon. And we were like, all right, yeah, let's do it. And then lo and behold, it got some steam, even to where Charlamagne responded to it on the Breakfast Club.
Facts.
I say all this because we dissected all of this. We talked about whether it made sense that a black man walked into South Carolina saying that he was being blamed for rape and he wanted to give himself down to the documentary, all of that stuff, right? So I'm not going to go in on Ms. Reid right now. I want to kind of focus my attention on a brother who I feel as though loves content, loves attention, and I think both of them are drying up a little bit. And now he feels the need to create more. Legendary director. So as a legendary director, he knows that content is king, and he knows ways and various marketing tools to get people to put eyes on him. And what better way to do that right now than right off the heels of Angela Yee, Gucci Mane, Charlamagne doing the interview, that 1-minute clip coming out about Gucci Mane running his mouth about Angela Yee and Envy. We talked about it. Funny as hell. We talked about whether or not we believed it or not, but there was some turmoil between the two co-hosts of the mega show, The Breakfast Club, a show that he was once on, a show that he doesn't like so much now. So it just seems like he's throwing bullets in an area that he feels as though is divisive. But like I told you, and I'll let you go in a second, but I don't mean to hold the airspace. But when you look at the actual interview between Charlamagne the God and Gucci Mane, a great interview, damn near an hour long.
Talk about it.
The content that's being spread around and thrown around all over Instagram and stuff, the Angela Yee Envy, was minute 58 of a 59-minute conversation. What I'm trying to say is it had no bearing on the actual interview. A great interview about how he grown as a man, his faults, his triumphs, him dealing with prison, how he had to go from being dealing with drug abuse and withdrawn from that. It was a great interview.
Right.
But they took this one pocket and ran with it and then tried to steer the narrative like Charlamagne the God and Angela Yee had this big problem, even to where she has to ask questions about it. It wasn't that big of a deal, dog. Charlamagne didn't stir up any kind of pot, and I've never met that man in my life. He doesn't pay a light bill over here. That's courtesy of us all day long. You can check the tax reports.
Right. Right.
But when you look at it, I think that people like to run and put blame on him, and what better dude to put blame on him than to Choke No Joke, looking for attention, looking for content, and having that little bit of a spark to kind of think that he can throw or be a snake and weave in between there and cause dissension.
That's a great word. And it's like, you know, we covered this whole situation, you know, months ago. And you see a guy like Choke No Joke that seems to have some type of a hard on for Charlamagne, like a disgruntled employee. And me personally, man, like I was telling you, like if somebody ever was in our circle, you know what I mean, and 10, 20 years down the line, they want to go in there and start telling everything that happened. That's some rat bitch shit, period. Yeah. I can't sugarcoat that, you know, anymore, to keep running your mouth about these people in hopes that, oh, maybe one day they'll say, you know, my name and whatnot in the third. I just don't respect it. Now, the whole Charlamagne situation, and let me just dispel this rumor. I know Sandman touched on it. We're all independent over here. We don't know Charlamagne. He has no stake in his show. We don't want to be on the Breakfast Club. It'd be nice, but we're not trying to campaign to be on the Breakfast Club. We don't want to be on none of those shows. We built our own Breakfast Club. We built our own ESPN over here. We don't got to conform and beg people to get on their shit. And because if you look here, he's trying to get the story out. He's tagging all the major people, the Shade Room and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that, but let's just deal with the facts. Don't use this girl, Jessica Reid, because obviously something happened to her. She needs justice. And just from the evidence, don't appear like it was Charlamagne the God who did that at the time. So don't bring her in it and try to act like you really want to fight for her when it's really that you just trying to get somebody to say your name, to put your name in some type of a light. We see what it is, period. So, you know, it's sad. It's sad that somebody could continue to try to attack people like this and trying to elicit a response. Now, let's go back to this whole letter, right? And one thing that you said that I thought was brilliant, obviously what happened, this dude is in South Carolina, a black man. He wasn't Charlamagne. He wasn't rich back then, so he was broke. Something happened with this young lady, God forbid, you know what I mean? He says, look, me, whatever you got to do, DNA, this, that, he cooperates. They don't cooperate. Jessica Reid, and you know, for whatever reason, they come back 20 some odd years later crying foul play. What does that look like to a lot of people? They already done, I mean, again, DNA, you go give them everything. You know what I'm saying? You're volunteering your body, all your orifices to test. That man, Charlamagne, ain't do that night. Maybe someone did. Obviously, something happened to her. We're not saying that that's the, you know, the issue here, but he didn't do it. So why this witch hunt for Charlamagne? Why? I don't get it.
If the witch hunt's for Charlamagne because he's the hottest thing to get great attention off of. He's the man on the radio that people love to hate, but he's probably one of the most watched out there as well. And if you got any kind of connection or any kind of connection to that, why not exploit that? And that's what he's doing. He exploited it last year when he did the documentary. It did what it did. It got its attention, and then the attention went away. It's he's trying to hash that for what reason other than to get some more attention and to get some kind of content, fresh content out there that ain't fresh. You got to get more fucking creative, brother.
But look at this though, Sandman, though. Something you alluded to, a dude that comes in and sees that maybe a little kink in the arm of the Breakfast Club. They may be going through a little bit of beef, sticks his head in there and tries to shake things up and say, you know what? Let's take this nigga down, Angela. Let's go and do an interview on lip service. Since you like talking about these type of issues and people that have been abused, let's go right for Charlamagne the God. You think Angela Yee is going to sit with you and do an interview with you, man? That's some snake shit, Sam, man. That's some snake shit. You can't, I mean, even like with the Rocafella thing, it's like, man, like, you're just talking about this, that, and the third. Nigga, what the fuck are you doing now, dog? What are you doing now? Fuck, like, people could say all this shit about, oh, you know, y'all did these views. None of that shit matters. None of the hundreds of millions or tens of million views we did now. None of this shit matters, nigga. What the fuck are you doing now but complaining and hating on everybody that seems to be in a more prosperous or successful position than you're in? I gotta call that shit like I see it.
Let me ask you a question, oh God, because it was at one point, man, that we had aspirations of getting that brother on the show, right? And like I told you in the beginning, you introduced me to Choke No Joke to a certain degree,
right?
On social media, I'll put it that way, and, and that he was on YouTube and things like that. What happened? What and I know what happened, but I want you to explain to the people what exactly happen to kind of give your perspective a shift in how you felt about Choke No Joke?
I mean, my thing is like,